Hey, what's up guys, it is Saints Fan, and today I wanted to talk about some great ideas in GTA Online that just weren't properly executed. And this is sort of a top 10 list, although the order I discuss them in isn't necessarily the order that I dislike them in, I guess, so to speak. So like the numbers doesn't really matter. And also I feel bad for like sort of hating on the game right now, and I'm not trying to hate it. I'm just like making a video discussing about some things that I think could be good if Rockstar like tweaked them a little bit, especially considering we just got the news that there's going to be two major updates, the stunt and the finance and felony update. So I sort of hate to talk about the bad stuff when there's some really cool stuff on the way, but I've had this video in mind for a couple of days now and I figured I would just upload it. So let's get into the list. Coming in at number 10, we'll just start with the first one, and I think honestly it's one of the most recent ones, and that being stilt houses. Now, stilt houses, in theory, like I said, it's a good idea. However, I feel like it was poorly executed. Number one, the biggest problem with stilt houses is the fact that you can't easily access your garage. You actually have to go outside of your house and then go to the garage door. You can't easily access it from inside, which is annoying because you got to go through more loading screens than you do when you're in an apartment. Another thing that was disappointing, and I guess this is mainly because of the trailer, you couldn't really do anything outside of your house. Like your backyard, it didn't have anything there. And there was no door to actually go out through the back. Where in the trailer they showed people in the swimming pool, they showed people doing yoga and stuff, and they kind of falsely advertised them. Now again, in theory, it's a good idea because they're houses. They're something that a lot of people have been wanting for a long time, and honestly, they were relatively cheap considering, you know, some of the apartments are like $1 million+. And honestly, if mansions ever do come to GTA Online, if they're just like these houses but bigger, I'm not entirely sure what there is like to get me to actually buy it, you know? The next one is another thing that recently came into the game, and that being piracy prevention. This one in theory was a good idea because it gave people who spent a lot of money on yachts a pretty rewarding VIP mission that's fairly easy to win. But that's the problem, is that it's too easy and no one really ever tries to attack you anymore. If your organization has homing launchers, you can easily defend the skies and you can easily snipe people. At least if you're around the beach, you can easily snipe them as they're trying to get into a helicopter or onto a jet ski. Another thing, when the attackers are trying to get onto your yacht, they also not only have to worry about you, but they have to worry about people trying to spawn trap them. A lot of those like really awesome multi-kills you see, it's because people are trying to get onto the yacht and they're not worrying about the people like behind them. And that's why a lot of people can go on these 30 kill streaks. I'm not entirely sure how they can fix this one, but it's just something at the moment like that you can literally do. Put your controller down for 10 minutes, go make a sandwich, come back, and you'll easily get, I think it's $30,000. Number 8, the Armored Kuruma. This was a good idea because it offered an armored car so people can get around the map without worrying about getting shot by other people, especially if you're on console and there's auto aim. It just sucks because it's almost a guaranteed death if you go near someone and you don't hit them, because they'll just lock onto your head, shoot a few times, and bam, you're dead. So the Kuruma, in theory, the Armored Kuruma, was a great counter to this. But the fact that this is one of the best 4-door cars in the game, I mean, it's really quick, it's got really great handling, and it's almost impossible to actually shoot somebody out of it. I'm not entirely sure how no one at Rockstar, when they were testing this, figured that people would just use this to troll everyone. Like, at least with some of the other cars, they're not as overpowered because they're either not quick or they don't have great handling, and you can easily shoot people out of them. The Armored Kuruma has none of that, and that's why I feel like it was really poorly executed. Number 7, we have free mode events, and I put this in here because the reason I don't think they were properly executed was because they have too many free mode events that aren't fun. A lot of the challenges get really boring and not many people do them compared to some of the other ones like Criminal Damage, Hunt the Beast, Hot Property's a fun one, Penned In. At least to me, I rarely ever see these. It seems like it's always the challenges like wheelie the most or get the most headshots or something along those lines. Plus, like, the incentive isn't really there because you don't get that much money for actually participating and completing these events. even if you do win. And all of that is unfortunate because when these were announced, I was really excited because the one thing I love about GTA is free mode. I hate going into the clouds and loading and all that because I've just had super bad experiences with that. It always takes forever. So having some stuff I could do in free mode sounded great until they actually came out. Now, some of these next ones are stuff that's been in the game, and I don't know if they'll ever be fixed, but I figured I would put them on this list because we could talk about them in the comment section. Number 6, NPC bounties. Why were these ever a thing? I mean, I guess I understand, so you could sort of give people reasons to chase each other, because if nobody ever put bounties on other people, then it might get a little bit boring. This way, it would at least force that to happen, but it just didn't make sense, man. You killed somebody. Like, you pulled them out of their car, you can kill them, and then guess what? Their dead body puts a $9,000 bounty on you, which is just annoying. Honestly, if the bounties were a lot more than $9,000, I think many people would be less upset with this. But the fact that $9,000 or $1,000 or $3,000, all these amounts that you can get on you, that's nothing. Like, that can buy me maybe a haircut, right? Like, all this stuff is so expensive that bounties are just worthless now. And the way for them to fix this would be to increase the bounty limit. Make it go to 100,000. That would be really cool. Like, that would give people reasons to actually participate when bounties happen. Again, though, it's a great idea because it could lead to some really awesome situations, but it just never does happen because bounties are kind of worthless now. Number 5, and this one is here just because somebody in my stream suggested it, but heist matchmaking. I can see why Rockstar did it the way they did because you got the 4 jobs, and obviously in heists, each person needs to do their part for you to actually get it to work and to get all the money in the end. But man, oh man, dude, like, the heist matchmaking was some of the worst I think I've ever seen in any game. So many times I've started up a heist and then a minute into it, someone lags out and it kicks us out of the heist. It won't even let us finish with just the 3 people. Also, nowadays, rarely anybody actually plays them, and if you go ahead and group up with a bunch of random people, good luck finishing, because the people nowadays, they don't know how to actually do anything in the heist. So that's kind of why I put it on the list. Again, I know where Rockstar is coming from, but it just wasn't implemented properly. Now, number 4, this one I think is one that a lot of us can relate to, and that's gang attacks. Kind of similar to the bounties. I understand why they did it, because they wanted to give people stuff to do in GTA Online. They wanted action to happen. They were forcing it. And I think that's where they went wrong, because a lot of these gang attacks happen at places like where Pegasus vehicles spawn, and you don't want to engage in any actions. And this one ties in with number 3, being Simeon cars. Again, both were great ideas, and I understand why they did them because they're trying to force stuff, but having it so where you get 2 stars automatically when you get into a Simeon car and it doesn't notify you, like, it should at least notify you, hey, look, this is a Simeon car. And I know there's like a text message you can get, or that you get from Simeon and you can see, but nobody ever reads their text messages, so I wish there was another way to notify us about that, because it's super annoying, like the bounties and like the gang attacks, where these were features that could have been good, but just turned into minor annoyances rather than being actual good gameplay mechanics. Now, number 2, I have Pegasus vehicles here, only because of the freaking stupid system where you call them, and then you go pick it up and it's like, sorry, Pegasus cannot deliver your vehicle now. And you try again, sorry, Pegasus cannot deliver your vehicle now. Try it a 3rd time, sorry, Pegasus, and then you go to another freaking place. Sorry, Pegasus. It's like, why even try? Like, I paid all this money for these Pegasus vehicles and they never freaking show up. I mean, maybe that's just me that has these issues, but I feel like there's other people out there that can relate. Honestly, though, that's the only negative I have about Pegasus vehicles. I thought I would put it on here because of that specifically. And again, don't take this list too serious. I'm literally just going down what I have written. But coming in at number 1, we have the homing launcher. This always starts some controversy because some people like it and some people hate it. I will say, it was a good idea for them to add this into the game, but the way they went about it just wasn't right. You know, the idea adding this into the game was that you give people who don't like these jet griefers, you give them a way to defend themselves. The problem being that the homing launcher is available from level 1, whereas the RPG you have to be level 100 to get it, and the homing launcher destroys everything except for the cargo bob in 1 hit. Some of these military vehicles you spend $3 million on, and some dude who spends like $30,000 on a homing launcher can kill you. At least one thing they need to do to fix this is to have homing launchers only lock on to military vehicles, like vehicles with guns, because so many times I'm in a regular plane, or I'm an AC-130, or I'm in a regular helicopter like the Maverick, and people shoot me down and the homing launcher, and I can't do anything about it. At least if you're in a military plane and you have some way to combat this, or some way to kill the person that is trying to shoot you down, you could do that. But if you're in these other planes, you're defenseless, and the homing launcher becomes something that people control with, instead of the other way around like it was before. Anyway, that is it with my list. You can let me know what you think of this list in the comment section. Do you agree with some of these? Do you not agree? I'm interested to hear. Also, if you think I missed anything, like any ideas that could have been great in GTA Online, but that just weren't properly executed, let me know in the comment section. See you guys in the next one, though. And as always, drop a like, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.